Hello everybody. Today I wanted to go through just some of the things that I've done to try to organise myself now that I'm a pretty seasoned student, pretty seasoned scholar, perhaps unfortunately. I'm into my 8th year of university, so I've had a bit of experience with different ways of trying to organise myself in this digital realm. So I'm going to point out some of the things that I've done to try to organise myself as best I can, and you can feel free to adopt some of these ideas or let me know of some of your own if something sounds a little bit better. So I just want to show my desktop first. So my desktop over here, this is the part that's really important. These have got to do with my subjects. So I'm doing 5 subjects, the 3 math specialization ones, 2 normal subjects up here, and then a practical placement subject. So I've got little icons to show which is which. So a math subject that has diagnosis in its name has a little doctor, one that has clinic in its name has a little clinic symbol, extension and challenge. It's got somebody doing some tricky maths there. Positive has in its name, so it's got a positive face. Transition to teaching has an arrow. Yeah, it makes it very easy for me to see which subject is which very quickly. And I also have them ordered by the codes that they have at the end, except for this one, which is obviously a little bit different. But from left to the right, the numbers are going higher for my free math specialization one. So again, makes it a little bit easier. There's consistency as to what is where. So what these actually are, these are shortcuts to folders where obviously each one is separate. But what it's actually linked to is my OneDrive. So with the university that I'm with, we have a OneDrive account, and you can get one for free, and same for Dropbox, so just not as big as the ones that you can pay for. And then when within that OneDrive, it's got space for all my different folders. So I've got folders from former subjects and current subjects and things like this. So that's all on my desktop. So if ever I download anything, my downloads go to my desktop as well, because then it reminds me that I've got to get it off my desktop, otherwise things look like a mess. It's a very quick drag over to one of these folders, and then anything I need is a quick click away. So if I want to look at anything in this maths diagnosis and intervention subject, there it is. And as we can see by having a look at some of my other subjects, there's already a lot of files. There's a lot to get organized. So yeah, I find that to be a reasonably positive start. Have things organized very quickly, very easy access. Another element of what I do to try and get myself organized is in regards to emails. First, I'll show you emails from a university I used to go to, but with both of them, it's the same sort of principle. So this is a web-based email, and all that's really here is I've just made folders for my different things. So when I went on practicals, communication with dean, communication with certain staff members, subjects, and that way if I ever want to look up anything, so for example something to do with the technology subject, I just click on technologies. If I wanted to look at anything from a previous subject that might have been pretty handy, I can just go to archive, and I can just pick from the subject that I had done, and including little subfolders in there. So for example, when I was in a group assignment, in that group assignment I've got all the communication that we had in relation to that group assignment. So this is fairly easy to set up. It's literally just going right click and making a new subfolder, or right click and making a new folder. It's a very, very easy sort of thing to do. So I find it to be a pretty effective way to try to organize your things a little bit better, rather than just having lots of emails in the one spot. Now, as we can see, I've got lots of emails here because this is the one which I don't use anymore. But for the one I do use, I've got it in Microsoft Outlook. And within Outlook, here is what I've got. So I've got my name of my subjects over there on the side, things to do with my practical placement, and I've got old subjects here in archive. Now, here's my inbox. As we see, my inbox, I've only got 2 emails. This second one here, I can see that it's going to be for the subject 6280. I only received it Monday night, so now I can just very quickly move it to the MAE 6280 subject. And there it is. And therefore, if I ever want to look up anything to do with that subject, I can just click on it. Because almost always the emails have the name of the subject in the subject, then it's very easy to just move them. And it's not setting up any rules or anything like this. It's nothing complicated. Just literally right click, make a new folder, and then type the name in, and then just put things in there. get yourself organized. Think of it like your room. It's easier to find things when you put them in the same spots, or you put them in spots that make sense to you. So that's what I've done when it comes to emails. Now when it comes to organizing things. So when you're at school, just like when you are at university, you have places to be at certain times. And there's no difference here. So here is what my week looked like when I was doing this semester at school. So I was learning French, that's what these purple ones are, so don't worry too much about them. But the main thing to look at is that I've got the time on the side, and I've got the days of the week up here. I can put over here the option to freeze pane, which I believe is in view. Freeze pane, and that way whenever I scroll up or down, I'll always still be able to see the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No matter how far I go across, I'll always be able to see the time. And there we go. So as we scroll down a little bit, I can see, on Monday I would have needed to do this, on Thursday this. It's just got the name of the subjects, where they were, so the little location down the bottom, maybe a bit of a description of what's going on, a workshop, and the dates, because some subjects were only on at different dates, because this was during COVID time, so some subjects were always on campus, some were not. So that's why I had ones for Collaborate, which is our online platform that we use for the subjects, and then the ones that were on campus. So that way it was very easy for me to be able to have a look to see one or the other, to see when I was required to be at the university and when I wasn't. I also used this little folder here where I've got all the different dates of the semester, from 20th of July up until, well into November. And I had all the different assessments that I needed to do and all the different tasks I needed to do for every subject. Now, I labeled it in a certain way and with filters that it was very easy for me to see what I needed to do. So if I wanted to look at this subject, HAS, Humanities and Social Sciences, I'd get rid of the blanks for this column, and then I can just ignore these, so I can hide them if I really wanted to. And then I would just look to see what I need to do and when for this subject. So if I want to look only at HAS, I've got to do textbook readings, and then by Monday next week, I've got to do more textbook readings, and I'll take some notes, and same for the next few weeks. Oh, but then I've got an assignment due. So yeah, it was I found it to be very helpful to try to organize what I needed to do. Now let's make everything appear again. If I just wanted to have a look to see when my assessments are due, in my assignments column over here, I just put a little X when something was due. So I'm going to hold Control and press down to go, I put a Y. Put a little Y when something was due. So as we can see, a lesson sequence, that's why I've got a yes there. And that way, if I wanted to see when something was on, when assessments were due, all I do is make it so it only shows when it's got a Y over here. So I did this manually, put all the little marks, and that way I can see when absolutely everything is due, week to week. So I've got something due on the 11th of August, a lesson sequence for my maths subject. I've got an essay due over here on the 12th of August, and that is for my PE subject. I found this to be pretty helpful. It always helped me to keep on top of what needed to be done when and where, because I would be looking at this file every day. So that's what I had done in the past. The one that I'm working on at the moment is a little bit more complex, and I haven't actually got my schedule down pat yet, but I'll just show you some of the other things that I've got in here. So I've got the name of all my subjects, and I've got links, which means that just like a web page, you click on it and it takes you to the page that has to do with the subject. So if I want to look at transition to teaching, I'll click on it, and then it's got all this space for me to be able to write my notes and any information that I've got about the subject. It's only just started 2 days ago, so there's nothing there yet. I'll click home, and then it takes me back here. There's other things to look at here as well. Deadlines for assessments, where what I've done, I've got the name of certain assessments, how many days until they're due, how much percentage it is. Haven't filled it all in yet, or descriptors about the subject, about the assessment. And then I've written how much I have completed, how much I should have completed, given how long it has been since I've been given the assignment, and then the difference between how much I've done and how much I haven't done. Between how much I've done and how much I should have done. So because I should have done 10% and I've done none, this writing is in red. If I had done the 10%, then it shows a 0. It shows that I've done no more or no less than what I should have done at this point. If I had actually done 50%, it tells me minus 40. Even though that looks red, that minus 40 to me means I don't have to do any more work. If it was a red writing, then that means I've got to do more work. That's how I've categorized it, but you can change it however you wish for anything like this. Now, probably the part of this where I've done the most work is actually my timetable. Sorry, not quite right. Calendar. My timetable, I'll show you an update of it next week when I actually have it fully fleshed out, because I still don't know when some things are going on. Now, what this has the name of all my subjects on the left, and life for some actual life things that if I've got appointments or something important that I will put in. And I've also got the weeks, and I've got days of the week at the top. I've freezed my panes, so no matter how much I scroll down, it always says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at the top. But the reason I've still written Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the way across, is because I wanted to try to organize things well in terms of having the date just above. So, and what I mean by that is I've set up these macros where if I want to look up anything for a subject, I can press a button, and what a macro is a programmed sequence of events or series of events. So what I've actually done is I've set it to a button. So if I click on this button, it will hide everything that has not got to do with EDU 6205. So I click on that and it gets rid of everything except for the dates and EDU 6005. That way I can see exactly what I need to do for that subject at all times. So for this subject, on Mondays, I've got to do some textbook notes. Green means I've already done it. The collaborate sessions that I have to attend and what they're pertaining to in a little comment. These yellows are for practical days. So even though it's not to do with this subject, it tells me I will be at a school all day, and likewise over here. So I can see when my assignments are due. I can see when other things I need to be done. And it's the same for any other subject. I go to show it all over again, and then I'll pick a different subject. And it's the same thing. So I've got to read some things. I'm scheduled myself to do that on the Mondays. I've got assignment due 20th of August, 17th of September. It's all there for me to see. If I had accidentally clicked on another subject instead of going back to show all, it just hides everything, but then you just go show all and it's all visible again. So what this is really just showing me is what I need to do every week. So in this first week, which I'm highlighting here, these are the things that I need to do for my subjects. I need to read a textbook, I need to read a journal, go to a collaborate session. I've got another collaborate session tomorrow, another online meeting tomorrow morning, and then I've also got to look at some notes. I should have looked at some notes yesterday and make sure I read that journal. But it's all there for me to see. And I have assessments due in a few weeks, so obviously need to make a move on that. So this is just a bit of a preliminary video showing some of the things that I've got. I hope some of these things are helpful, and I'll make another video next week when I've got more information about all the things that are exactly going to be happening. That way I can show you my fully fleshed out schedule, because at the moment it's still a little bit of a work in progress. But remember, this isn't something that you have to use, but I hope there's been some things here that are helpful and maybe give you a little bit of a pause when it makes you think about how well you can organize your digital information and how to set things up in a way that makes it easier for you, because that's the most important thing. It's not about what's easier for me, it's about what's easier for you as the individual. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I'll catch